Trish, it is still Thursday, November 5th, and I'm going to see if the third time to try to do a devotion with and for you this evening is going to be the charm. The first one, the sound was awful. I've switched the microphone. The second one, after I did a test, I realized I forgot to change my who can see it. I was just doing a private test and forgot to change it. So I did a devotion for myself and we'll see if this one goes. If it doesn't, um, you won't get a devotion tonight. At any rate, we are on Psalm 95 as we continue our trek through some Psalms of Thanksgiving. We've skipped ahead a few Psalms from Tuesday and have found another Psalm of Thanksgiving. And it's a great Psalm with lots of songs and words of praise. In fact, in my little Psalm book that I often use, or sometimes use, the title for this Psalm is called We're Giving You a Party. And so it's got lots of excitement, lots of energy going in it, lots of Thanksgiving. But then the psalm takes this turn and it ends with a reminder to God's people to take seriously this business of giving God thanks and praise. It is not something to take lightly. And God reminds the Israelite people and us of earlier generations who were wandering in the wilderness and neglected to pay attention to God and to give God the thanks that was due God. And so we are, um, by the end of this psalm, as a commentator, I'm going to read a little bit of what she says. The people are falling on their knees, remembering the sins of the past generation. We too do that. The commentator here is Beth Tanner, and she's just a few things I want to read. She writes, in worship today, God can be seen as too friendly, too nice, too forgiving. We can easily forget about the great power of the King God. We fill our sanctuaries with light and flowers and beauty, and we work hard at making them beautiful and calming spaces. Indeed, so much so that the great mysterious God of the universe might get erased from our minds. So, this psalm, she says, reminds us that the worship that we do of our God is serious business. Our God is mighty and powerful, and our reverence is due our Creator God. It also reminds us that the way we worship and the way we live are related. I appreciate that sentence. The way that we worship and the way that we live are related. We can make God so angry our worship becomes an abomination. She goes, it's a hard word, but it's true. And so we want to take care that we worship with true and faithful hearts. She says this psalm serves as a warning and asks these questions. Is this praise honest and real? Is the question, do you really know what you are doing? And are you really prepared to encounter God's face? These are questions not just for the ancient Israelites, but for us as well. And so we need to understand the serious business of our God. I am also struck once again, it happens so frequently, about the ways in which God uses an ancient word and can speak to us into today's world, environment, whatever that is. And so we sit here a couple of days after the election, and it continues to consume us as we wait. And my guess is every possible emotion we can have, we probably all share them in one way or another. Or between us, we can probably have displayed a multitude, a rainbow of emotions over the past couple of days and continues to do so. Yet in this psalm, God reminds us that's where the real power resides. God is the source of the only true and lasting power. Now, that doesn't mean being concerned about the future of our country and the outcome of the election. It's not that those things aren't important, but what in the end is most important is understanding the power, the might, the majesty, the anger, the love, the grace, the faithfulness of God, and giving our thanks and praise where it is due to that God, to our God. And so I invite you to pray with me Psalm 95. Come, let's sing out loud to the Lord. Let's raise a joyful shout to the rock of our salvation. Let's come before him with thanks. Let's sing songs of joy to him. The Lord is a great God, the great King over all other gods. The earth's depths are in his hands. The mountain heights belong to him. The sea which he made is his, along with the dry land which his own hands formed. Come, let us worship and bow down. Let's kneel before the Lord our Maker. He is our God, and we are the sheep of his pasture. We are the people of his pasture, the sheep in his hands. Lots of familiar words and phrases there, and certainly songs of joy. And then, as I said, the psalm turns and demands that we remember. If only you would listen to his voice right now. Don't harden your hearts like you did at Meribah, like you did when you were at Massah in the wilderness, when your ancestors tested me and scrutinized me, even though they had already seen my acts. For 40 years, I despised that generation. I said, these people have twisted hearts. They don't know my ways. So in anger, I swore, they will never enter my place of rest. Please pray with me. God, keep your anger from us. Help us to untwist any twisted hearts that we might have. Help us to continue to walk in your ways and know your ways, that we might give you the thanks and praise that is honest and real, the thanks and praise that is due you, the thanks and praise that you are more than worthy of because of the goodness of your acts, the greatness of your creation, everything that you have done in the past, what you do for us today, and the promises that hold all of our tomorrows. We give you thanks and praise for all of this. Amen. Okay, if you've been engaging in our practice of writing down or spending a few moments each day thinking about what you're thankful for, perhaps you, like me, have been thankful for this beautiful weather we've had this week. And if you haven't had a chance to enjoy it yet, I hope that you're able to do that in the next couple of days. Otherwise, I will see you on Monday. Have a good night.